Okay, I think we are live. I do hope that this microphone is sensitive enough. And yeah, most likely I will be talking to myself, but hopefully you can watch it later in your free time, on your walk or something. So it's been a while since I wanted to do regular lives, and I failed at it miserably, and I admit it. But that's something I definitely want to do. I just want this space to be something that, we just hang out and kind of reinforce our faith, renew our enthusiasm. This is a space for people who think in the same way, want similar things, and are in the same kind of spiritual place. And I'm sure that you cannot talk to everyone about this in your life, just like it is a case for me. And since we are so fear driven, um, I think this is a good space to just kind of, you know, be there for each other and get rid of that fear because we don't need this. I'm just going to have a bit of ambience here as well. Um, so I call this particular one Do It Scared. And maybe each time we meet, maybe I will make it into a regular kind of scheduled event every week, for example, at the same time. But I kind of want to play with different times as well. I don't know yet what will be the most optimal time. I would rather have it in the morning because I just have it in the morning. I have like my tea or I can have my coffee or whatever. And we can just hang out preparing for the day and for the week. For example, if it's on Sunday, it could also be in the evenings, but then I am tired in the evenings. So it's kind of difficult to kind of organize that. But yeah, I want to talk about how, whatever it is that you want, you know, we it feels like the desires that we have that they're pushing us further in life. And I personally believe that all desires that we have, whatever it may be, are for us, maybe to experience them or maybe to simply learn from them, build up our character. Maybe at some point we don't want these things anymore, but it does build us up. And I think it's great, and I think it's very important for us to go for the things we want. But the fear will tell us that maybe it is not for us. Maybe we shouldn't, go for it. Maybe it doesn't happen for people like us. Maybe, you're not cool enough to have these things. Or uh, we also tell ourselves the things about the world we live in, that the economy is bad, so maybe not now. But I believe that if we don't go for the things that we want for so long, because I know that the things you're pursuing, it's not a whim that just appeared and you're just like, yeah, I want it. I know that it's something that you really wanted for a long, long time. Maybe you didn't have courage to actually go for like all in on it. Or you were talking yourself out of it because you were thinking maybe, it's not really for people like me. um, you know I also, of course, I speak from my own experience as well. I always wanted to do YouTube. I did YouTube in the past about something else. I had blog after blog as a young girl, a teenager, and I would constantly kind of feel like I'm not cool enough to have anything to share. So it's not for me. I would watch YouTube a lot. I would watch people or read blogs and so on and be just like in awe for all that these people represent, the knowledge they have, the wisdom, their personality to share and so on. uh, but it would take me a long time to actually go all in on something like that and say like, okay, if I don't try now, I will always feel like I haven't went all in on myself, that it's something that it wouldn't be authentic to just keep kind of postponing it. It is for you, whatever you want. It is haunting you all this time for you to finally try to go all in on yourself. And if you're asking if it's time now for it, maybe it's not the time because the economy, maybe you have children, maybe these are times that are uncertain, and so on. Like, we can keep telling ourselves these things, but this is just it's fear. And I want this space to be a place where we can together say, okay, fear, I can see you, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Like, fear is just this companion that takes a seat at the back of the car, but you are the driver. You have this power to decide, and granted, it's not going to be one decision and I'm good to go and everything is just unfolding for me, because there will be your body coming back with fears from the past, with the conditioning, with emotions still trapped in your body that have the experience of these things not happening for you. So that's why we experience fear. The body also doesn't, maybe is scared a little bit of responsibility. What if you succeed? So we often think that we are scared to start because we don't want to fail, that we are scared of failure. But I can prove to you that you are more scared of actually succeeding. Oh, what happened? I lost some controls. I wanted to just move this to another screen, and now I lost the control. But if there are some people watching, if I'm not on my own here, then please say hello, say how you're doing, what you're struggling with. Maybe if you have some questions, like let's unpack it together. We often think that what we feel is just no one else feels that, but in fact we do. We all feel the same thing. Like, there is not a single original experience that we have. That's what I think, at least. Right. So whatever it is that you want to build in your life, it may be a business, a family, a group of friends, whatever it may be. If you want to create something, but you've never done it before, there will be 1,000 of arguments coming from your mind, but also from your body, why this thing isn't really for you, because you never experienced that before. So the fear appearing, doubt and anxiety in the process of manifestation is a given. If there is one thing that I can guarantee, is that there will be fear, that there will be something coming up to the surface. So when you make a decision to accept the things that you want, you are shifting instantaneously. It happens in the next moment, basically, because the life is just, consists of just moments. There's no past, there's no future, there's just now. So as I make a decision now, this is in this moment, I'm already shifted. I'm already a different person. I already, like the bridge of incidents that I think Neville Goddard calls it, the bridge of incidents. So how the things are supposed to unfold for you, the chain of events that will get you to the things, it already is set in place, right? So if it is already set in place, all you need to do is to stay in the alignment of the one who made that decision, and make the next take the next action that you feel is appropriate, without talking yourself out of it. And this action, this inspired action, as people call it, it's kind of like a butterfly. It will come to you, but if you're not accepting it, if you're just like shush, it's going to fly away to someone else, maybe even, because it wants to be born. It wants to be born through you. If you accept that it is for you, then you can shift into the way of thinking of the person who has it, and what would be the next action I would take. You don't need to know the next 10 steps to actually start. You don't need to know any of this. You just need to know the next step. And from that next step, because it will also change you, okay, the path itself is the teacher, because the path teaches you different things. At the end of that first action, you are already a different person. And that different person sees things differently and can then take a completely new set of actions that you right now doesn't even see as an option, okay? Because as we step into different level of consciousness, we also get different level of understanding, perception, right? We change the state, and state precedes perception. So depending on which state you're in, you're going to perceive things. Like an example of this will be, let's say you're in a relationship and you are not a very kind of confident person. You are constantly like, you need reassurance that you're loved, but maybe this reassurance is not provided to you as often as you think you need. So if a partner is acting in a way that, I don't know, forgets to bring food or something like that, you will immediately from the state of person who is not confident or has to fight for love and kind of give to be loved, that's the perception we have often. Then this situation is going to be interpreted as they don't love me anymore. But let's say, like, if you are a person who feels chosen and who knows that um, you know people can have a bad day, and it doesn't mean anything about you. Then if the same situation happens, that the partner didn't bring food or something, you are still you look at this person's behavior not as a threat to who you are, or if you're being loved or not. It is actually just something that occurred. Maybe this person had a bad day. You don't take it personally. So you see that the state that you're in, it's going to have an impact of how you perceive things. So hi, DNA in Bloom. I don't know your name, sorry. Hi, Marta. Thank you for doing this talk. It really helps. I feel the same things as you described. Yes. Thank you for this beautiful comment. Yeah, so I want this space to be like, I want us to be able to renew our enthusiasm. Because in order to manifest the things you want, you have to constantly renew your enthusiasm. You need to remember why you're doing this. Like, your desire is this northern star. And if you're in doubt, you're just looking at that star. I know where I'm going. And whatever it is that I'm feeling right now doesn't matter. Like, I can feel what I'm feeling, and I should be feeling the emotions, so that they can complete this energetic cycle, so that they don't get trapped in my body. But it doesn't mean anything about your situation right now. It's just an echo of the past, because emotions are really just artifacts of the past. And in manifestation, we are told very often to think positive or do affirmations and so on. But if you don't really feel these affirmations in your body, then I don't really think that it does much. Maybe like if you do them robotically, but that's also, it has its own set of issues. I have a video about why I don't really like robotic affirmations, and how it like really, it's brute force. You're just kicking in the door to your subconscious and like dragging the parts that disagree with your vision out, like, by their clothes, and like, no, you don't belong here, get out. But they will come up when they're ready. You don't need to do it by force like that. I don't know if it's a good thing. And also another thing in manifestation, we need to feel safe about the changes that we are introducing. The safety about you have to feel safe right now about the things that will be in the future, even if there are the things that are going to like test you. You will be tested on the way. As I said, that the path is the teacher itself. It's going to build you up so that you can be the person who has these things. You need to expand to be able to get these things, and certain things you are already expanded enough to get. It's just that maybe there are some emotional blockages. Maybe you don't feel deserving. That's also something to like explore. What I really like to do, there's something that I want, that I'm manifesting, but they are not here. Like, why? Why would I not be here if I decided that I want them, right? Um, what I do is that I try to have this like kind of conversation with myself. I do journaling. So I just write things like, okay, why do we think that having this thing isn't good? What is the belief that I have about when I get that thing, for example? Let's say that you're building a business, but it's just not bringing much yet, and what do you like, what are the questions you can ask yourself is like, what what do you imagine would be happening when you are already in that position, that you have, like, I don't know, you generate that much money, like, let's say you have a goal. And then maybe there are some narratives that then you're thinking, okay, it's probably that I will have to work much more. Maybe I will be more tired. Maybe I will not have energy for, I don't know, working out or spending time with my family, whatever it is, that you want to have time for. So you see that there will be things like your mind, your body actually will tell you immediately. You ask questions and then you listen, because there will be answer. I'm afraid I will be tired. And then you kind of challenge this question. You're asking yourself, okay, why is it bad to be tired? Is it better to be tired working in a career in an office, or a shop in sales somewhere for someone else, coming back home and being tired? Or is it better to be tired by doing the things that you love, that you wanted to do in the first place? Because you will be tired. Like, every night you will be going to bed to sleep because you're tired, because you need to regenerate. This is a given. But so why is it bad to be tired doing what you love? So those are the things, those are the examples that I had to ask myself as well. Another thing that was coming up for me was that I will be too busy. And it's also interesting, because where do these things come from? It comes from the conditioning, because back in the days when I had a corporate career, I had to work a lot. I had to work, travel for work as well. And I didn't have this work-life balance. But also what I was doing back then, I didn't really enjoy that much. That was good money. I thought I wanted to do this, but it was just kind of burning me out. And the burnout that I was feeling, it kind of manifested in a back problem. So right now, my mind thinks that if I'm abandoned, if I work more, I'm going to have a back problem, because it remembers, it doesn't want it to happen again. So it's going to try to protect me from that, But who said that it's going to? Oh no, it says that my connection is unstable. Sometimes my Wi-Fi is not really good. Like, let me just use the mobile data real quick, just to be on the safe side. Reconnecting now. We're back, yeah? I think so. Anyway. So tell me about what you are struggling with. Maybe you have some questions. Maybe you are feeling too much. Like, whatever it is that you are struggling with, let me know in the comments. Maybe I'll be able to help you. Let's have a conversation. I want these lives to be a hangout. I want to talk to like-minded people, I often join lives of other creators as well, because it's just so cozy and you can just spend some time together. I'm drinking some green tea. And how's your weekend going? Just let me know. Yeah. On Friday, I was watching live of some other creator, and I'm learning a bit of tarot. So I have this journal when I write down things that I'm learning about. I would just listen what they were saying. It was just so nice and cozy in the evening. Maybe I should do lives in the evening sometime as well. Will be all right. I also have some sage here. I'm going to burn some sage. Can you see? Also, by the way, it's not that I say that these things like cleanse the aura or whatnot. I just like the ritual of it. I like I like how it smells. This one I don't like Palo Santo. I still have some, but I just don't enjoy it that much. But also when it comes to tarot, okay, I'm not gonna become a tarot reader anytime soon. But what I like about this is that you draw some cards, and whatever comes to your mind first. Oh my god, it's very smoky. Let me just put it aside. And whatever it is that comes to your mind when you see a card, for example, this is your subconscious speaking. So sometimes we need this aid. I wouldn't necessarily recommend watching tarot readings that are for the collective. I guess there are people who have some of this what's the word, like psychic abilities that they can read on a distance your energy and so on. Maybe not, I don't know. But one is for sure, is that you know the most about your situation. You don't need someone else to tell you. So you take some cards, or you, I don't know, journal to yourself, or just get into the stillness, like some sort of meditative state, and just listen to the voice of the intuition of the higher self, whatever it may be that will be talking to you. And you can journal, you can talk to yourself, have the dialogue, ask questions, because it is trying to communicate with you, the true you, right? If you ever feel lost or fearful, ask yourself, okay, what can I do for you to alleviate this fear? When we do things in spite of fear, okay, doing it with fear, doing it scared, we are communicating to our nervous system that it's okay to feel disturbing emotions, and they don't kill us, because it's literally, we just avoid feeling things because we think that it's just survival level anxiety. Of course we don't want to experience it, because it reminds us of something really scary from our past. But these are just sensations in our body. And authors or business owners or artists, only the people who persist, who keep going, are the ones that succeed. And the same goes with manifestation. If you can give up at any moment, literally at any moment. So how about you just keep going a little bit longer? Listen to yourself, feel your emotions, try to learn from this path, because this path is here to teach you something as well. And nobody is going to be able to help you with that. Not a coach, not a course, not a book. Maybe a book sometimes. You read something and it just hits you, because it's worth to watch or read different people talking about the same thing, because everyone is describing the same thing in different way. And it's very different things work for different people. So sometimes you read or listen to something and you're like, whatever, but then you listen something said differently but about the exact same thing, and it's like, oh wow. It's evening where I am, and I also do tarot. Tarot can be used with active imagination exercise to understand dreams. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah, because when you get these cards, each card has like those illustrations, that symbolism, right? And then you see something that actually is like hits you in that moment, and that is probably what you needed to hear. Maybe you saw it in your dreams. Yeah. I got myself these really pretty golden cards. Look how pretty. This is so shiny. I'm just like such a magpie for these things, and so I'm just learning right now to like understand what these things mean, but not to like, I don't want to learn by heart everything. I just want to know more or less what they mean. But then, with experience, you also kind of start to you have also your own lens, right? So it can mean different things to different people. I enjoy that very much. So far, I only did a couple of like readings for myself, and they were pretty spot on. Like whenever I feel like, oh, should I do this or that, or I don't know what to do, feeling low, I can then ask a question with these cards and then kind of reinforce my faith and my conviction, and just to keep going, because the goal is to keep going. And that's also the goal with these lives for me. I want to inspire people to go all in on themselves, do it with fear, do it scared, because the fear is a given. It's never going to go away. It's always going to be your constant companion. You can never get rid of it. And even people who achieve a lot, like executives and business people, actors, performers, and so on, they feel fear, but they just continue anyway. Sometimes I like when I saw people just achieving so much, I thought that they're just being cool and breezy, but it turns out that they also, get sick before castings or big performances and so on. And it's very reassuring because they will never say that. But there is this there's this TV show, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I'm really into like a Game of Thrones franchise, everything. So this spin-off that is like before a Game of Thrones, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. The main actor that is playing that Dunk, Sir Duncan the Tall, he was a rugby player, and then he wanted to be an actor, and finished a drama school and was just going to castings. And he was talking about how he landed this gig for A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. And he said like he's such an anxious person. He would vomit in a toilet before and after the casting. And like then he landed the job, so this is all great. And we don't really hear these stories about people, how they got to certain places. We only see the cherry on top. We don't see how the cake was made. And I think we should hear these stories more often, because we only see like people, it like they say that it takes 10 years to have an overnight success. First of all, someone had to do the same thing for 10 years, pivoting slightly, to persist, to keep going in spite of fear, in spite of maybe not seeing results. That's what effort is really. You instead of like, in spite of not seeing results, you keep going. That's what effort is, in my view. And it's really difficult to just keep going if you don't see any changes. And it's so relevant for manifestation, because you may not see anything for a long, long time. And you don't know if it's working. You don't know if you should keep going or if you should give up, Yeah. If you should keep going or give up, it's really up to you. But I think if it's something that you always wanted, giving up isn't really an option. At least I think so, because if you give up, okay, let's say that you're saying, okay, the thing I always wanted, I don't want it anymore. or maybe you're just trying to tell yourself that so that it is easier to just move on. Mm. And at some point, you just start thinking about it again. Maybe you move on for like a year or two, or maybe even a decade. Yeah, but it just comes back and pokes you to try again. Yeah, that what happens to me anyway. Maybe I'm just reading too much into this. Maybe I'm a romantic. I am a romantic. Not only in like romantic, like relationships and stuff like that, but um, with nature. And I do think that there are things that are destined for us, that we create um, our life to some extent, but there are certain things that chose us. Like, did I choose to, you know, be a coach and want to like help people and do YouTube videos? To some extent, yes, because I made a decision to go for it. But it doesn't mean that it didn't that it's easy, you know? Even though I felt like this is something I should do, like I want to help people to feel better. Like this is my purpose, for the collective. Um, and it took a while for me to actually understand that this is what I wanted to do. I switched careers a lot, I would always struggle. I would always just feel, I would always feel like it cannot be it. Like work should feel enjoyable, and it never did. So I kept searching. Um, so was it my choice to land here? I don't think so. I think it chose me in a way. Um, of course, I'm not saying that I'm like saving the world or something, but you have a function too. There is something that only you can bring to this world. Only you can help someone with certain things. So don't ignore that. Don't ignore the things that you're good at, and don't ignore the things that you enjoy. You should always follow this joy of yours. And of course, it's scary. It's scary to maybe finally admit that I don't know, I like painting, or always wanted to write, because the things that you want to do, you can always do them, even if you think, oh, I need fancy, I don't know, brushes to paint or stuff like that. But if you want to do art, for example, even cavemen, back in the days, they wanted to do art, and they found some charcoal, and they found some cave walls, and started to draw there. Everything that they needed to do art was already there. And everything that you need to fulfill your purpose and your follow your joy is already here too. And even if you think like you don't have all the resources needed right now, if you keep going, the resources will come. I'm not talking like mountains of money, but if you will always get enough for you to be able to fulfill your function, your purpose. And the money comes as you do certain things, because it really is just a side effect of you following passion and touching other people's lives. That's really what it is. That the more lives you can touch of people, the more money it will bring to you as well. But also, your body has to feel safe with receiving money. Yeah. Right. Also, because I'm talking about how like we have to feel safe in our body in order for things to show up, right? We need to feel, kind of reassured that everything is going to be okay. Like, who wants to trust in the path of unknown? Like, if you don't know if you're going to be fed, and if you're going to have a place to live, and if your family is going to have a place to live, and so on. You have to trust that your path is going to unfold well for you. You need to feel this safety, and also we need to feel this mm, kind of social safety. We are social beings, so we need to feel safe, um, and supported. But what we don't know is that the support, this kind of like hand on your back, it doesn't have to be uh, external. It doesn't have to come from someone else. It can also be imagined. You can be this one tapping yourself on the back and saying, yeah, you're doing great, I got you. Because the support is always, it always comes from, there's this higher self that pushes you on that path, and it can also zoom out and see the bigger picture, because it doesn't only look at where you are right now. It looks like at the overall zoomed out picture, something that maybe like I cannot see right now, but something is pushing me towards this thing. So how about I listen? How about I just give it a go? Because why not? Because why not try? And only the people who succeed are the ones that didn't give up. That literally is it. It's not that they are special in any way, that they have more skills or they are more lucky. No, it's just that they persisted. They just kept going, even if things didn't go well, even if they had doubt, even if they started to, you know, whatever path you are taking, in manifestation, like either it's a business or a relationship, getting a career you want. I lost my train of thought. Oh my gosh. What did I want to say? I was talking about safety. Yeah, so also another thing is like doing certain things. Sometimes things are not going really well, you know? That's one of the things that today in the morning I was journaling. What could go wrong during a life that I'm giving? Um, oh, I could be rambling. I could, not speaking in a very articulate way. Not many people will be joining, and so on. And, losing my train of thought and so on. That happens to me a lot in daily life all the time. It's good that for YouTube you can like edit things out, but on live you cannot. So, yeah. But things happen. That's fine. That's okay. I didn't make any notes because I wanted to just see if we can just hang out. I was hoping that there will be maybe some questions, like we could talk together about certain things, but maybe like Rome isn't built in a day, and maybe at some point we'll be able to get a bit more regular with these things, and then people will know about this and tune in. So um, that's another thing that feels to me like very romantic in a way. I romanticize a lot of things, and we should romanticize our life. Like, I'm romanticizing YouTube lives by thinking, oh, I'm going to come here, hang out with friends. Like, I have my favorite tea, I have my candle here, so it is all about just really enjoying yourself in the moment, and a little bit of fear here and there. It's not going to sway me. This is also what I was talking about. That path is the teacher as well. You will never learn to speak articulate in an articulate way unless you practice speaking, right? You're never going to be able to even following through on things is a skill that we have to practice. Everything is a skill we have to practice. So let's say that if you want to have like a business or something, but you have a problem right now a little bit with I don't know, self-discipline or just following through, then the path of a business owner will teach you that thing, that you need to learn this thing in order to become that a business owner that actually have lots of sales and touches a lot of people, helps a lot of people, and so on, right? And the only thing that can stop you from like doing these things is fear. Fear is also procrastination. If you procrastinate or postpone certain things, I appreciate you pointing this talk. Yeah. All right. Yeah. But before bedtime, then we need to, give you something like super, like faithful, positive, so that you can, your brain is going to think about this as you sleep. So, yeah, yeah, good stuff. And also, but I was talking about the procrastination, that it is also a stress response. It is also a response to fear, right? Anxiety. So just gently asking yourself, like, what are you scared of? What do you think that doing this task that you're dreading so much, what will it, um, like, why do you procrastinate on this specific task or on many tasks even? Sometimes we are simply just overwhelmed by life and constantly in this like collapse freeze state, like there are these stress responses, that there's free fight, flight, freeze, fawn, right? So fight or flight is the one that is like mobilizes you to do some action, to move your body and so on. But then if this response fails, your nervous system goes into the freeze, the collapse state. It's a dorsal vagal pathway of your, there's this polyvagal theory for how we process stress and danger and threat. So if you are constantly overwhelmed by life, simple fight or flight, which is just the action mobilization, if it doesn't solve the threat, if you still see your life as something is dangerous here, you're not safe, there's constantly something requiring your attention, your action from you, but you just don't have space, you don't have the energy, then you're going to get to that collapse freeze, the dorsal vagal response. And it's a hard place to be in. Everything just seems too much, and I think very often in manifestation we get to that state as well. If you watch a lot of content, for example, you keep giving information to your brain about the things that you should be doing, and the brain is kind of like, I'm so overwhelmed already, and you just want me to do all those different steps that you just learned from that video. So I would be also careful about watching too much content. Watch the content that empowers you. Watch the content that gives you not just more steps of the things that you have to do, improve about yourself, change your routine, blah blah blah. Some of these things are good if you're really following through on these things and improve your life, but we can't possibly watch 10 videos about like productivity hacks and manifestation techniques and improve on all these aspects. Like, it's not possible. And so just protect your energy like that, and watch things that empower you, that help you like to keep going, or give you some like the shift of perception, because we are very often stuck in this like everyday life and thinking about like, oh, my manifestations are not here yet, and we just get back to that like fearful response. And the change of perception would be that, where's the proof for all these fears? If you're scared of not getting what you want, uh, is it really a fear of not getting this thing, or is it a fear of that you're scared that you're not gonna be really truly alive until you get that thing? Maybe the fear that you're feeling is for right now, for not living right now, not living in aliveness, in joy, to your fullest potential, you know? So just something to just think about, that the fear is always pointing to something, maybe like a conditioning from the past, or a way that you are self-inhibiting. Yeah. So just talk to your fear as well, you know? It's only you know what's going on within you. And also, like, lots of manifestation coaches and manifestation content, it will only focus on this, like, mind side of things, and reprogramming your subconscious, and affirmations, and just seeding your mind with new information, which is good. Like, we should kind of change ourselves on the mind front, but also on the body front. Teaching your body that what you want is safe, or even that feeling what you feel right now about your future and about what you want that is not here, is also safe to feel. That it doesn't mean absolutely anything about you. It's just a feeling, it's just a sensation in your body, right? uh, so treat the fear as a reminder to realign and correct that perception. uh, yeah, I can feel this anxiety right now. It doesn't feel good. No. I wish not to feel it. Yeah. But it doesn't mean anything. We can just feel it and move on. And most of the time, like 99% of the cases, there is not even a proof in the external for that particular fear. So when you start questioning that, you are completely safe. You are fed, you have roof over your head. um, but your body acts as if you don't, as if something is just going to threaten your survival if you don't get certain things. So yeah, it's just I do recommend to look at the thoughts that appear in you and challenge them. You don't have to flip into positivity, or like ignore what you're feeling and what you're thinking, but just remember that it's not you who thinks these things, and it has nothing to do with the future you. Whatever it is right now, how many times have you had a situation in life that like one day was just ordinary, and the next day things started to shift, because you never know when things are going to change. And also, the emotions that we are feeling, like, okay, here's the proof that they don't mean anything. Okay, let's say that every single day looks the same for you. One day you're feeling okay, and the next day you're starting to feel like absolutely terrible. It's just like this emotional turmoil. It suddenly appears. Like nothing changed in your life, but you are feeling different. You know, I had this happen so many times that at this point, whenever I have like a few emotional days, I'm just like, yeah, what's new? It doesn't mean anything, because it just has to happen once in a while. And even if you become more kind of spiritual and awakened, if you live in this, like, the premise of I am, resting in awareness and coming back to your true nature, um, even then you keep forgetting who you truly are, so that you can remember. We just keep coming back, and even people who are very spiritual, awakened, and so on, they still feel fear. The difference only is that they don't look at it as the proof of anything. It just appears once in a while. It's just human nature. You're going to feel that because your body is wired to keep you safe and keep you alive. So, of course, it's going to once in a while mm, scan your environment or whatever it is that you are perceiving, not even like with your conscious mind, but with your nervous system, and just detect a danger, even though consciously you don't know about this. So there is this idea of neuroception. Perception is something that you just mm, the seeing of the mind, uh, the mind's understanding of what's in front of you. But neuroception is your nervous system just reacting to things, and it's very often outside of your conscious awareness. And it can detect danger even though it seems like nothing is there. Maybe there is. Maybe it was just like temporary hiccups that just you needed to be warned. Mm, because sometimes I'm like, I had this situation a few days ago. Even I went to the shop, and suddenly I started to feel like so nervous. Like my heart was speeding up. I was just like, what's going on, you know? But then it just went away as quickly as it appeared. And I interpreted this as my neuroception, the heart's energy detected something that I didn't really see around me, and then it just was like, oh no, false alarm, all is well. So you can also approach whatever it is that you're feeling about your manifestation journey this way. Just temporary hiccups, all is well. I think it's a lot of old fear trapped in the body and coming out of the habit of protecting you this way. For me, mornings are the most valuable. Yes, I love the heart awareness. Yes, like I go back and forth. Sometimes I like to kind of like tune my mind, my body before I go to bed to have something nice to like seed my subconscious for the night. But mornings are just the thing I love. I journal, I do meditation, just have my favorite tea, something to look forward to kind of set the tone for the day, and also realign like who am I being today? Like what is the intention for this day? What identity I want to embody today? What do I want to feel today? You have the list of things to do, but how about the list of things to be? What do I want to be today? Uh, full of joy, full of aliveness, steady. I really like to do the to-do list, especially as I walk, have my morning walk as well. Yes, I love the heart awareness. Yeah, it's such it's such a fascinating thing that we think that just this conscious mind is this know-it-all and knows everything, and it turns out that there is just like much more information coming from the heart, something that is even beyond this conscious perception very often. Hi, Aten Mark. I became a bit different after my dog died. Oh, I'm so sorry for your loss. I cannot seem to shake whatever trauma has taken hold of my body. Yeah. I mean, loss and grief, that's like a big task that we often kind of postpone. It is very disturbing. It's going to feel terrible. So I don't know if you gave into the grief, because the grief is very often a way to also process the old emotions in your body, or it can also create a new trauma, right? So it is important for you to keep coming back to these emotions. They need to fulfill the energetic cycle. Otherwise, they get trapped in your body and just kind of pushed out of your awareness if it's too disturbing. So, if this is something you cannot do on your own, like I'm not sure if I have connection now. What's going on? It's like seek help as well, like talk to a therapist if this is some grief that you really cannot shake off after some time. um but yeah, like feeling these emotions is paramount for sure. And yeah, also in what way did you become different after your dog died? mm, people and pets and anything, like the different souls, they are becoming a part of us as well. So if we lose them, of course a part of you also left. So you have to grieve that, losing that part of yourself. You have to grieve that. Yeah. My spirit animal passed 3 months ago, and it was so full back of heartbreak. Yeah. It's a lot the animals process for us energetically, and they move. The field needs to adjust. It's a very, very good point. Pets, cats, dogs, they are so good at regulate. Like they are masters at emotional regulation for them, but they also regulate us. So it's a very good point there, that after you lost your dog, the part that was regulating you is also gone. You will have to find this within yourself. You can find it within yourself um, as well. Yeah. And also, like a few years ago, I lost a cat, and it was also very sudden. Um, she had like some ear infections all the time, so she had to be put under anesthesia to like clean up this ear. But that anesthesia was just too much for her kidneys, and it started to fail, and like all the organs started to fail as well. So we lost her prematurely, and it was a big shock, and we were not prepared for that at all. And it was very, very hard, emotionally. But um, I also just remember that she was just such a joy, and we took her from the shelter. So we didn't have her since she was like a kitten. She was an adult cat when we took her. But just these few years with her was just, we were so lucky to have this beautiful soul with us. Like I still, until this day, I have her on a desktop background of my computer, and it's been many years now. So there is still love. Like, the grief is also the price we pay for love, right? It's just such a deep love, but the love is still there. And when you process the grief, you will be able to tap into that love again. At least, like when I see her pictures, I'm just like, I kind of like talk to her sometimes, like, as I would talk to her in a way. Not because I think that she hears me or something, but because it just makes me feel the love. The love is for you, really. Um, say hyper vigilant, hard to ride in the car with. Do you mean, do you get like, what is the hyper vigilant in this situation? Hard to ride in the car with? Do you get like the road rage? I'm not sure what this means. Um, but yeah, well, nobody teaches us how to process our emotions. So if you are not, masterfully processing emotions of losing, your life companion, that was with you for so long, then don't blame yourself, because it's literally, nobody teaches us how to process these things. Um, like they expect that you're going to be back at work the very next day. Mm, which is, I don't know, inhumane. And emotional regulation is a skill not only nobody teaches us that, but also we've been raised by people who didn't know how to do it either. The fact that they didn't teach us isn't some conspiracy theory, or they didn't want you to do well in life or whatever, it only means that they themselves didn't know how to do this. And we as children, we are supposed to be protected from very difficult emotions by, our parents are supposed to guard us from very disturbing emotions. They're supposed to digest the experience for us, so that when we are not yet emotionally wired, um, we we don't know how to handle the things. So parents should be digesting for us, like a mama bird digests worms for the babies before they feed the babies. But because our parents themselves are overworked and scared and maybe not ready to be parents, or have their own traumas and just lots of different issues emotionally, they themselves don't know how to deal with their experience, then it's no wonder that sometimes their help is not enough. And even though you're not emotionally expanded yet to deal with difficult situations, you do have to face them. But it's also, I am at awe at how our little brains still were able to, like, not collapse. But the price that we are paying for survival is that the emotions that we were feeling and we couldn't handle them at the moment, they were pushed into the subconscious, out of our awareness, because they were just too much to handle. So as an adult, certain situations happen that kind of trigger these emotions that may still be there in the subconscious. Um, and whenever they come up, you have a chance to release them. You have a chance to feel them and complete that energetic cycle that they didn't have the chance to do the last time. Heart awareness meditation helped me a lot to process the grief I have. It is very difficult to lose a pet. They inhabit much more of our internal space than most of other humans. Yeah. They're always there. They're also dependent on us. We feel needed. We feel, and then we lose them. We are losing part of ourselves, really. And heart awareness meditation. Yeah, I'm not sure if I know that. Is it like some guided meditation type of thing? Yeah, whatever works to release the emotions. Sometimes simple allowing is really, really good. Sometimes just like laying down and just trying not to think about anything in particular, and whatever comes to you, the narrative that you get about your life, about anything, and just let the thought lead you to the experience, the emotion that you feel, and just allow it. It may then also guide you towards the part of yourself that feels rejected, that needs your reassurance, your love, and so on. So yeah, that's because we are like so fragmented. Within you, there is not just one you, there are just so many yous. um, and when you allow them to come up, when you allow them to just speak to you, to be known, to be understood, to be loved, at some point they are going to like release the energy that we're holding, and the fear that they were generating in you is also going to go away. But it requires your allowing. That's why I keep talking about feeling your emotions. That's literally all you have to do. and do it consistently, and do it with self-compassion and patience, as you would approach a child uh, that kind of just needs your time, your attention. So yeah, this is about heart awareness meditation. Yeah, so it's based on self-inquiry and focuses on breath and heart space, not chakra but heart consciousness, based on teachings of Raman Maharaj. Anything that comes up mentally or emotionally, observe. Yeah, yeah, exactly. um who is that knows this experience? Who is that knows this emotion? Who knows this thought? Yeah. Yeah. Who knows this fear? And you just do it anyway. And yeah. I've been yapping for over an hour now. I'm not sure if should we do it next week at the same time. Mm, yeah. Yeah, self-inquiry is just like such a foundation. um yeah, I was just learning about manifestation some time ago when I started, and I thought that I have to like read. I was reading a lot of Neville Goddard, and at some point when I actually came across the I am, um, everything changed. Like I no longer really focus on manifesting that much myself in my life. I focus on the true nature, resting in awareness, and yeah. I think everything changed for me when I found Sunny Sharma on YouTube. He talks a lot about self-inquiry. He's fantastic guided meditations, and also Rupert Spira has amazing library of meditations and content about non-duality. Um, I do believe that this is in the heart of everything we want, and learning about manifestation and so on. Um, I do try to add it to my content a bit, but also like because people who find my content, it's just too. I feel like it's too abstract. The I am and resting in awareness. Uh, if you just keep going and try to find new techniques, and you really are hyper focused on just manifesting things, but you cannot get there, and you're asking yourself, why am I not manifesting, and so on, then I think the next step is to ask yourself, um, who knows this experience. But it doesn't seem like the very easy path towards there. Something that questions your faith has to happen for you to go and discover these things, or get manifestations that you always wanted. You get them and you find out, I'm still seeking, I'm still searching, I'm still not 100% fulfilled as I thought I will be. Why? And we do feel this a little bit of like fulfillment and peace when we manifest something. It's just like, oh, that's so good, and we feel alive and fulfilled. um but what if the feeling of peace and fulfillment is only there because for the first time in a long time we don't have a desire anymore? That fulfilling the desire is what made it go away, and that's why we feel this fulfillment and peace, not because we got the thing, but because we don't want anymore. Wanting and seeking is really the thing that just makes us crazy. I'm very grateful, Marta, for the hangout. Thank you so much. We'll sleep better. Resting on. Right. Good night. Thank you for joining. Thank you very much for your beautiful questions and what you shared. Yeah. Uh, very deep. Yeah. Well, it is this human experience is a deep experience, isn't it? So um, I do believe it's not only about manifesting things. It cannot be. Because like listen to people who achieved everything, money, many houses, mansions, parties, anything you want available to them, but then they spiral, they drink themselves to death, you know. Why? They are not happy. And it's this realization that even though I acquired all these things, I'm still not fulfilled. So when will I be fulfilled? And what is still missing? And I think those questions you can only ask to yourself. And deep down, all we really want is this self connection with the true self, with the, you know, not the body, uh, but the true self. I am the awareness. And sometimes, you know, when you are in this like in this self realization, and you feel the peace, you see things as so beautiful, nature, trees, you know. And sometimes like I catch myself thinking, even though it's so amazing and so beautiful, it feels not enough. And this scares me. This scares me that it feels like it is not enough. But that then I realize that I'm now thinking from the perspective of this human. For the human, it will never be enough. The human will always want. But wanting is not really a bad thing. It pushes us into trying things, growing, moving. You know, just when you still, the energy is not really moving. So desires are not bad. It's just when we attach to them or our worth to them, this is where trouble starts. And also just accepting that this is just a human predicament. That's okay too, you know. I will always feel fear here and there. Whatever it is that I want to do or achieve, there will be fear. That is one thing that is certain. And it's not a bad thing either if you just realize that I can just do it scared. That fear doesn't mean anything about um, the probability of me succeeding. Uh, Fear is really just a misuse of our imagination. Do you want to focus on the fearful and the bad things in your environment, or do you want to focus on the things that are lovely and beautiful and can keep you going? Because the only people that really succeed in anything are the people who follow through, who keep going in spite of sometimes feeling fear or doubt, or should I quit? Should I pivot? You know, and it is very relevant in manifestation as well. If you give up, um, if you give up like consciously, like no, I don't want this anymore. Like yeah, for some people, actually giving up on their manifestations speeds them up because you're removing this attachment that you have to things. But if you want the things that will have to be built by you to exist, like manifestation is not an effortless process. It requires your work, your effort, your action. Mm, you know, so yeah. Okay, I've been here for 1 hour, over 1 hour now, 1 hour and 15 minutes. I think I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for the hangouts. I will try to do this weekly, but I think I'm going to try different times because there are different time zones, and we'll see what will have like the most kind of flow. If you would like to like work with me or check some of my resources, then check it in the YouTube profile. There are links there. There's my website. There is a freebie, a nervous system reset that is like an audio for 10 minutes that you can kind of like realign yourself. Thank you. Lots of love, Marta. Thank you so much. Good night. Thank you for joining. It was lovely. I had fear for decades, social anxiety and avoidance of people. It's when I confronted my fears and realized that the tension was real. People really did things behind my back. I have learned to deal with it. Accepting something that is outside of your control and not making it mean anything about you as a person is all you need to do. It's your power. Yeah, but also it's very interesting. Like you say that there was a fear for decades, social anxiety and avoidance of people. Which was first, right? We don't know which one was first. Was your social anxiety then caused you looking at people talking behind your back, or the other way around? But also the fear for decades still taught you something. I'm not saying that, oh, if you lost the decades because you were afraid of something that isn't there. No, it was the path that was teaching you something. I truly believe that. At some point you have to have this like tipping point, like, okay, enough is enough. And then you just turning your fortune. You see yourself differently. You stop caring. You're like, oh, screw this shit anymore, this kind of energy. I think it's very good. I think it's very important. It made you into a person that you are right now. And even though you may be judgmental of yourself, there is not another person like you on this planet. And remember that there is still something that you can what's the word, you can give to the world by just being you. That's what I mean. So how is this, you learned to deal with it? Is it just simply acceptance, or did you build even higher walls around yourself? Because that sometimes happens to people. Yeah, be yourself. The world needs you as you are. Yeah. And show up for yourself with love and patience, and also whatever you're feeling right now, it doesn't mean anything about you right now. It means maybe a little bit about what's your conditions, like what was happening to you, like when you were a kid or a young person, that molded you into someone that is now vigilant towards these things. It's just an echo of the past. It doesn't mean anything about you now. So yeah, keep like figure out what brings you joy and go for it. And even if it's something that will have to, like, it will push you out of your comfort zone, because if you say that I had social anxiety and avoidance of people for a long time, I wouldn't be surprised if your kind of purpose is now something that you will have to break out of that. You will have to move towards something that is scary, that will push you out of your comfort zone, maybe something social. Yeah. It's very often the case that the most kind of shy people, like me, I was really shy. I was very kind of self inhibited, and I turn out to be pushed towards going live on YouTube, for example, uh, helping people feel better, and also a bit of public speaking, sales, stuff like that, because I'm selling my time, my services. That's, who would have thought? But that's the thing, that the things that feel the least comfortable is what you are going to be pushed towards, because this is where growth is. This is where you become someone that you always needed to be, to break out of this form that maybe the society, culture your family puts you into, because you're so much more than that. You can stay there if you choose to, of course, but there's just so much more to what you're capable of. You're capable of just so much more. You are powerful beyond all measure. And everything that feels really difficult to you right now, it only feels difficult because in this particular place, in this particular level of consciousness that you're in, you cannot imagine bigger things. Maybe you want bigger things, which already is proof enough for me that it is for you. So for example, let's say that by being in this level of consciousness, you accept that you want this big thing, but you have no idea how to get there. That's okay. You take the first step towards that thing, and when you fulfill that first thing, you are already on a different level of consciousness, and you will already take different actions from that standpoint. And on you go, being capable of doing more and more and more until you are that person who has a business, has a house, has that financial situation, or travels, whatever it is that you want. So if there is something that you want, but it feels too big, it feels scary, it's only because from this current level of consciousness, it's kind of difficult to see yourself being that person. But you become a new person every time you take an action towards that goal. And remember that you are all constantly guided, because the idea to do the thing that you want didn't just appear just like that in your human mind out of nowhere. The higher self sees the bigger picture. It can zoom out and see more, even though you are now living this kind of maybe limited uh, um, um, circumstance. But it sees more for you because there is more for you, and it pushes you towards it. Even if you don't want it, you're like, just give me a break. I don't need this. Yeah, you can lean into idleness, but at some point it will come back. It will be just poking you constantly to give it a go, to try, to be more, to grow. That's what I believe anyway. Yeah. Bad news for us introverts and people who just want to be left alone. um, you're very welcome. Yeah. Yeah. The world is maybe not going to support you as you do certain things, but if it's not going to support you, it's also not going to stop you. So just keep going, do your thing, dream big. If it doesn't feel scary, then it's not big enough. I'm telling you. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for listening to my yapping for so long. I truly hope that you get at least a little bit of faith in yourself from these hopefully weekly talks. I want us to be able to together renew the enthusiasm, not be scared of feeling what comes up, and just keep going, because the world needs that as well. Like, if you think that you want something because it will benefit you, it will benefit you, of course, but it is bigger than that. It is for everyone. It is for mutual benefit for everyone involved, and even those that you don't think that are involved. It is your duty to act on your dreams. There is no excuse for not acting on your dreams, on what is calling you. Is it scary? Hell yeah. Will it get worse? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But will it be worth it? 100%. Yeah. The time will be passing anyway. And what you do between now and in 5 years from now, for example, it's up to you, because the time will pass anyway. But you can do something to improve the future. The future you really depends on what you're doing right now. You can think about yourself from the past as well. You wouldn't be where you're right now if not for the past self that took an action. So appreciate them for that, but also appreciate yourself, because the future you is looking at you right now the same way as well. You are never alone. You have an army of you that works towards your highest goal, your highest timeline, pushes you into that direction, makes you feel uncomfortable, makes it feel super scary as well, but only because it is benefiting you. You will grow from that as well. The resilience that you're building up right now on the way to the goal that you want to achieve is what you need to be able to hold it. You can achieve something but then lose it, but you can achieve something and hold it and build from that more and more and more. So yeah, without going back to this nervous system baseline that brings you back to the safety. No, we build safety as we climb up. That's the goal here. And if you feel like you are not supported by friends, family, and so on, be the one that puts this hand on your back and supports you. You can do that too. We do need to feel the support, but it doesn't need to be from the external source. It can also be imagined. It can be from you. Just by knowing that you're not doing this alone. Should keep you going for at least a little longer. And a little longer is all I'm asking you for right now. I'm not telling you go for it for another 5 years. No, I'm telling you go for it until tomorrow. And tomorrow, try again for another day, Just keep going until you've built yourself up. And it's 5 years later, but you are a completely different person who has completely different consciousness, see things differently, has more things, because you first have to be, then you do certain things, and then you have things. We don't have and then feel happy. We are happy, we have inspired actions, and then we get things that we want. Be, do, have. The order of creation. Okay, I think that is enough of my yapping here. Thank you again so much for joining, for your beautiful questions. I hope that you got plenty from this. I know I did. It was lovely to hang out with you. Wishing you a beautiful Sunday, the rest of the Sunday at least. And I will talk to you in a week. Thank you. Kisses. Bye-bye.